airport. I'm going on an adventure. I've got my backpack, I've got my laptop, I've got my traveling shoes on. Come along with me. There's a reason that the designation for Dutchess County is distinctly Dutchess. And I have to add in front of that, delightfully distinctly Dutchess, because it truly is. There is something for everybody, for the outdoorsy person, for the artist in you, for the historian, for people who enjoy museums and manor houses and historic homes. And you've got everything from the rustic, almost pioneer colonial level to the dramatically Gilded Age homes. And we are here at the Statsburg State Historic Site. I have with me Donald Fraser. Donald his title is educator, and I've gotten just the best education in the little bit of time I've had to chat with him. Exactly where in Dutchess County are we, Donald?
Well, we're overlooking the Hudson River. We're right on the river here in Dutchess County. We're between the villages of Rhinebeck and Hyde Park, conveniently located to the New York State Thruway.
Let's get some insights into this unbelievable house. Who lived here?
The heroine of our story is Ruth Livingston Mills, who lived here in the late 1800s and the early 1900s.
She knew how to live, honey.
She knew how to live. Her goal was to be the queen of New York's Gilded Age society, and that's the story we tell here in her beautiful 79-room house.
Wow, 79 rooms. What do you do with 79 rooms?
She filled it with guests. She threw lavish parties here. It's like a hotel.
How many bathrooms are there?
There are 14 bathrooms, so I could say 65 rooms and 14 bathrooms.
So the bathrooms are big enough to count as a room.
They are. At the turn of the century, this was luxury living. Hot and cold running water, electricity, which they made here at the site, and central heating.
You know, that's usually when I turn to someone who tells me about, you know, they're living that kind of life today, and my question is always, are you adopting?
Well, you've got to marry well.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she wasn't a poor lady either.
No. Ruth Mills came from many generations of rich landowners. Then she married Ogden Mills, who was into banking and finance, and he was an industrial giant. So Ruth Mills, who was a very rich woman, married a very, very wealthy man.
Now there's a life to aspire to.
Yeah, we think theirs is a real love story.
That is very sweet. So the first of my Travel TV with Stephanie Abrams TV shows is about Malta in the Mediterranean, and there's quite a segment about the Cathedral of St. John. And I have to tell you, whoever the architect designed this room specifically was clearly influenced by the Cathedral of St. John from a number of points of view. One, because of these flat columns that are greenish stone, just like the ones in the Cathedral of St. John, and the capitals on these columns are flat Corinthian capitals, again, and gilded, just like in that cathedral. The height of the tapestry here on to the left of me, even that size and placement is reminiscent of the, we have to show you pictures. And
Please.
But for all of you who are watching, go to episode 1, Malta, Magnificent Malta, and you will see the relationship. So while as much as I'd love to see you go to Malta, you can just come to Dutchess County.
That's exactly what your hostess at the turn of the century, Ruth Mills, was trying to convey, that this is like being in a European castle.
Oh, it is. Oh, without doubt.
These Gilded Age Americans were aspiring to be American aristocrats. They were making money on a scale that had never been seen before in America.
How many, when the visitor comes to Dutchess County, how many of the rooms in this wonderful house are open to view?
We see about 20 rooms. It's a long tour. We've got a lot to say about it. So the tours here are about an hour.
Do you have a favorite room?
There's so many favorite rooms. Hard to pick an absolute favorite. Ruth Mills' fabulous bedroom is hard to top. It's covered in silk, not wallpaper. Covered in silk, and the walls are 18 feet high. It's a lot of silk.
Was the silk imported from China?
Most of the fabrics here were French fabrics. The best that money could buy.
Because that was very popular at the time.
You know, what's the best thing that could happen in this room? People like the Millses would say to their famous architect, in this case Stanford White, one of America's great architects.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yes.
His name pops up everywhere I go. Wow.
Yep.
No wonder it's fabulous.
Yep. It's Ruth Mills' childhood home, and it was a smaller home. It was a 25-room mansion. And with Ruth's aspirations to be queen of society, 25 rooms, it's just not going to do. So she hired Stanford White to build around the 25-room house. She wouldn't let him tear it down. That's her bragging rights. She's living in her ancestral home on the Hudson River.
Well, yes, and however this was accomplished, you don't have the feeling that something blew on in a windstorm.
Right.
We've got a lot to talk about. Stay tuned for more. Hi, I'm Stephanie Abrams, here in this bookshop to do a wonderful book signing. And why? Because everybody's interested in Rumors, my novel of suspense, intrigue, love, lust, and conspiracies and lies, and an ending you'll never see coming. Give it a shot. You'll find it at every online bookseller. Look for Rumors by Stephanie Abrams and enjoy. What didn't I ask you that our audience should know about?
Well, Stephanie, I would say that one of the things that makes this house unique is it's a time capsule. The things you see in this house are the Millses' belongings. When you walk through the door here, it's like walking into 1900.
Oh, it is. It is quite remarkable. And all of the tables and the candelabra and the tapestries and sofas and chairs and whatnot, these are all original from the family?
Yes. The Millses' daughter, with astonishing generosity, left the house intact and gave it as a memorial to her parents.
What a lovely thing to do. What a lovely thing to do. It's really very touching. How long was the dining table? How many could it seat?
The dining room table could seat 24, but we know that they entertained 100 once for their daughter's wedding.
Oh, you could easily.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big room. This is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So you have high tea here.
We do have...
How often does that happen?
That happens about once a month in the winter. And then from April through December, we're open for regular tours, and the dining room table is set just about where we are, where it was historically, and we'll do a beautiful Gilded Age table setting.
Well, in honor of that, I'll have a bit of my tea.
Please. We are open Thursday through Sunday, April through October. We close for 3 weeks to decorate for the holidays. We close for the first 3 weeks of November, and then we do a big December, Thanksgiving to December 31st. We decorate to the hilt in Gilded Age style. That's our busiest season.
Somewhere between after Thanksgiving and the first week in December, I am going to make tracks and get myself to this house to see it in glorious Christmas time decor, because that always adds something special, especially Gilded Age decor, because it's fluffier, you know, it's very different from what we normally would see. So, you know, that's grand. I want to thank you so much, Donald Fraser, for joining us today. You have been a wealth, really a goldmine of information. We are going to come back and we're going to haunt this place like one of the ghosts that walks the halls. So, because I really want to see more, know more, and become an expert on, I'm still learning to say the whole big long name, Stratford State Historic Site in Hyde Park, New York, in wonderful Dutchess County. Stay with me. look over my shoulder at the beach and all the people in their bathing suits, those who are surfing and frolicking in the water, and in fact there's a snorkeling center just to my left where you can pick up equipment of various kinds for water sports. What a great place this is.
Some names, it's not, you don't have a name, you just have a number, so it's a code. So you either decipher the code or you don't. So that's another mystery in its own.
Well, we're going to explore more of the mysteries of St. Elmo, the fort here in Malta. I see here chili peppers.
Chili here, I prepared some milk just before you arrived, and I turned it already into cheese. Now, maybe you know, to turn milk into cheese, if you have to go for the very traditional method, is to use the stomach of the baby lamb, of the lamb, or the kid from the goat. This you put the stomach in the way that comes out from the cheese to create these enzymes to turn milk into cheese.
From inside the Cathedral of St. John in the capital city of Malta, Valletta, with scholar, filmmaker, and local celebrity for sure, and probably a celebrity in much of Europe. So if you don't know him, it's time for you to get to know Narsi Kalamata. We're talking about the interior of St. John Cathedral in Valletta and its history. Where did we leave off in the story?
So, Grandmaster Lacassiere built a conventual church for prayer and sacred ceremony. But because they had built Valletta, an impregnable city, then there was 200 years of Pax Melitensis, or peace from Malta, because they were dominating the Mediterranean from Malta's strategic position, and nobody dared attack Malta again. They became very rich because they came from noble families. Every knight had to have 7 branches of nobility in his family before he was installed as a Knight of St. John of Malta. And every Grand Master wanted to be like a god, remembered forever, eternal. So every Grand Master would leave some kind of monument behind him, either bronze covered in gold, gold is eternal, or a statue made of marble.
Fitzgerald's Woodland, let's see if I can do it all. House, hotel, and spa in Adair on the west coast of Ireland. This is Stephanie Abrams. We are in Ireland on the wild Atlantic Way. We are in Dingle, on the Dingle Peninsula. If you look very carefully, you can see those white dots. Those are sheep. Here they come again. Look carefully and you'll see them. They're now out of their group and in a big line. They're hilarious, making a beeline. Oops. Maybe they're playing soccer. That must be it. They're playing, even the sheep in Ireland are soccer fans. They're trying to make a goal. It's hilarious. Way out to the right. You can't see it now, but you'll get more footage of it as we travel on the Dingle Peninsula.
I'm the Senior Manager of Government Affairs for the Northeast in Amtrak's State Supported Services Department. So Amtrak's Government Affairs Officer.
How much of that goes on your business card?
A small portion.
Tell us about this wonderful montage painting that's behind us that really gives some significant landmarks that one would find in Albany.
This has quite a story behind it. It was actually a mural that was painted in the old Albany Rensselaer station that was torn down back in 2002 when they built this station. This actually was painted by a renowned artist in the Hudson Valley from Kinderhook, New York. His name happens to be a good friend of mine also, named Andy Pelletieri. He was a longtime Amtrak employee, but he's also an artist by trade.
I'm in St. Patrick's country. How cool is that? I am in the kingdoms of Down. It's even cooler. In County Down in Northern Ireland, in a town called Downpatrick, and I am in the St. Patrick's Center, where in 2007, I was honored as an honorary friend of St. Patrick by the center. And it was actually March 16th, 2007, because on March 17th, the director of the St. Patrick Center was flying to London, England, to award to the then mayor of London, England, the same honor that's given to two people each year, I being one of them that year. I was in very cool company. And this center is the only permanent exhibit commemorating the life of Patrick, who is buried just at the top of the hill behind the St. Patrick Center in Downpatrick, County Down, Northern Ireland. If you walk out the front door of the center, make a left turn for probably 15, 20 steps, walk up the stairs and up and up and up, you'll be on the main street of the old town of Downpatrick. If you make a left turn, you'll be looking down the road a block or two at Down Cathedral, which looks like, you know that puzzle that the Disney company put out a jillion years ago with the road that's winding up to the Cinderella Castle? Well, that's kind of what it looks like. You know, I'm so tired of hearing about the rain in Ireland. Everywhere I go, people talk about the rain in Ireland. Have you noticed how sunny the pictures are? I can't open my eyes, people. I am squinting behind my glasses that are busy turning dark in the sunshine. But we're here in front of Dirty Nellie's. There's actually a Dirty Nellie's in Boston, but it doesn't look anything like this Dirty Nellie's. But that's that section in Boston that makes you feel like you are in Ireland. So on your way to Ireland, you might want to stop in Boston and snoop around, especially in the most historic sections. And Dirty Nellie's has been here for about forever and ever. I'm going to say about 400 years. When you go inside, you'll see there's first a little pub area and then with a fireplace and whatever, and it's quite small and cozy. But you go into the back and the restaurant opens up and it's still small and cozy, and lots of badges and banners that were gifts from fire departments and police departments in the U.S., where members of our finest and bravest have come to visit, have a pint, and leave behind a memento. So you'll see it here. And you're looking up at Bunratty Castle, a wonderful historic place you can visit. They do run groaning board dinners, kind of Renaissance dinners, medieval dinners at night that you can buy into with music and food, and an experience you will long remember. And there is the Bunratty Folk Village, and you walk about the village and you'll find, like in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, or in Old Bethpage Restoration on Long Island, there are buildings of a variety of kinds, from the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, the milliner, and there's a little tavern in there as well. And you can go and have a bite in there, and you can actually eat in what used to be the kitchen. I like to eat there. It's a cozy, fun part. And this is in County Clare, in Bunratty, in Ireland. I am so happy to be in a glorious suite at Clontarf Castle Hotel in County Dublin. And I am with the general manager of this glorious hotel in Ireland, Jason Ormston. Thank you so much for making time. I know you're so busy today. You're fairly new as the GM here, aren't you?
Thank you very much, Stephanie. And Cade Míle Fáilte, 100,000 welcomes to Clontarf Castle.
Drinks in the evening. That coupled with your bar, that you walk through those amazing antique gates that make you feel like you have entered some very auspicious place. I mean, it's just quite remarkable.
Yeah, I think we are the gathering. We are the gathering centre for Killiney, and there is no doubt you can walk through our lobby at any time of the day or night and be quite surprised at who you might meet. It seems to be the local area to go. It's conducive to having a quiet conversation. It's also conducive to having a good old get together with pals and family members, and so we meet everybody's needs.
I am so happy that you are with me today. April 15th, 2018, the 106th anniversary of the sinking of Titanic. I want to take you back to 2012, same date, April 15th, the 100th anniversary of the sinking of Titanic, to a little town on the west coast in County Mayo in Ireland called Laughardan. You see in the red jacket here Mary Robinson. She was a former president of Ireland, and in Ireland, the Taoiseach, which is the Irish for chief or chieftain, known more glibly as prime minister, is the one who does the real work of making the country run, and the president gets to do the wonderful things like make the speeches and appear at social engagements and kiss the babies and cut the ribbons. And on this date, April 15th, 2012, I was privileged to be in Laughardan. This is at a mass in St. Patrick's Church in Laughardan. And at this event, the current then Taoiseach of Ireland, Enda Kenny, was present, and you're going to see him coming up in the front row. And at this event, it was memorializing and commemorating the sinking of Titanic, which they have done every year for just about 100 and some years, because 14 of the passengers on board bought and booked passage on Titanic from Attergool Parish, where Laughardan is located. This wonderful little town of a population of 200 attracted 3,000 people the night of the 14th for pre-events that started in the middle of the night and went through until the afternoon of April 15th, 2012. And so on this 106th anniversary, today being the anniversary, the 106th anniversary of the sinking of Titanic, I wanted to share with you this incredible event that was the park, a memorial park that was spearheaded by the Attergool Titanic Society. They built this wonderful memorial that you have to go and visit. But join me as we go to the park. You can see, and there's Enda Kenny. By the way, you never hear the press in the U.S. use the word Taoiseach. You never hear them use the word Taoiseach because nobody wants to make a mistake pronouncing it. They all call him the Prime Minister. In this town, population 200, over 3,000 people piled in to be there for the dedication of the Attergool Titanic Memorial Park. In the park, there were 2 bronze statues waving goodbye, the emigrants leaving. Today, there are 4. You see the back of that cottage? You're going to now see the front of a cottage. They were built from the stone of abandoned cottages. In the bedroom of the first one, the back of the cottage, there's an eternal light waiting for them to return. Let's listen in now.
Ladies and gentlemen, most importantly, boys and girls, 2 words stand out to me today in this wonderful occasion here. This park will be dedicated to the memory of those who died in this locality of the Titanic. It tells a universal story. It's a story of emigration, a story of hope and expectation, a story of tragedy, and a story of loss, and a story of remembrance, and as I said above all, this is the story of community. It was a shared understanding of hope, and vision, of expectation, and past experience. It was the news coming back to the Golden River that somebody else from the village or from the parish would take leave and go to Malta.
It's a joy sharing highlights of Season 1 with you. In Season 2, we'll take you along to more exciting places close to home and far away, and some with our family dog in tow. Every destination we share with you is a snug fit for my personal mission to introduce you to places I believe you'll return home from enriched, enhanced, inspired, and uplifted, and know you're a better person because of that journey. For your well-being, take 2 trips and call me in the morning. And tell all your friends to watch Travel TV with Stephanie Abrams weekly and catch video on demand at biztv.com.